Hello, neighbors. We're just visiting here with Lee and Amy, and we done made an album this week.
Yeah, we did.
4 days in the studio, and would y'all care to share a little bit about y'all's musical relationship and how this album idea came to be and how it all went?
Sure. Yeah, Lee and I found each other in 2010-ish at an open mic and started playing music together. She introduced me to Appalachian music, basically from the start. I hadn't really played a whole lot of Appalachian music, and she opened my eyes to blues. We went to many a camp together and learned a lot together and formed a band quickly. And this album is a nod and a reference to all the good times that we had. We had a gig together last year where she currently lives in Mexico, and just came up with the idea, hey, you know what? We should make an album. And that's how this all got spurred.
Yeah. So how did y'all pick the material? Like the songs?
A lot of the songs are ones that we learned at this camp. This is the Augusta Heritage Center at Davis and Elkins College in Elkins, West Virginia, that I went to for many years. You went to for a number of years, and both bluegrass and blues weeks. So, and there are songs that we learned there at that camp, and we played in our band, and we've both played them for years since. So they're just beloved songs to us.
Yeah, kind of leaning a little bit towards the blues side of town in a good
Yep.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Put some acapella in there.
We have some acapella.
This is one of them. It's called Orphan Girl.
I am an orphan on God's highway, but I'll share my troubles.
So how did y'all prepare? How did you kind of corral all of the material and arrangements and all that kind of stuff?
Well, what's really nice about this music is that it's in our blood at this point.
Yeah.
We played it together.
Played a long time.
I still play some of these songs. She still plays some of these songs. They've taken on new forms because we now live several hundred miles away from each other, unfortunately. But we were quickly able to fall right back into our roots of how this music came up and how we rehearsed it. So this is many, many years of rehearsal for this album.
And one thing y'all did that I thought was very clever was you did remote collaborations with a click track. So one of you would lay down a click track and then send it to the other one, and the other one would record and that's really good preparation for getting in the studio, working with the click track. And so let's do Rose and the Thorn for both of you. What do you feel like was a highlight, and what was something that was challenging?
Oh. I think for me, challenging just was that it's an intense experience of 4 days in the studio, but it's absolutely worth it. I mean, when we've originally talked about doing a recording, we were just going to sort of do it on the cheap, and I think we're both just really, really glad that we put the time and resources into working with a professional and someone like you to really give the music the credit it deserves.
Yeah, it's a beautiful way to honor all the hard work that you've put into learning how to do it for so long, and honoring your connection with your favorite musicians. Yeah. And then, so what do you feel like was one of your favorite moments in the whole thing? You had some good moments where you were kind of digging deep on the mandolin.
Yeah, the mandolin was the most. I will say I was quite nervous about walking into Christopher Henry's studio and playing my mandolin. But I did. With some repetition, I got the things that I needed to get out there.
Yeah,
So
there's
that
so
was
many
fun.
little tricky studio things
Yeah.
that we could do. I mean, let's say
Yeah.
tricky, but just with the computer, you can do kind of just about anything you can think of. And I was telling Lee and Amy that for my own recordings, I've done 300 vocal takes, and then been pretty happy with it, and then played it for my wife, and she'd been like, "No, that's not really that good." And she didn't say it like that, but she's like, "That's not this kind of thing." So the studio, it can be it can flow like water, or you can kind of beat your head against a door. But I think the key is kind of keeping the whole thing light. I thought you all did a really good job with that. Of course, you'll have really good communication. The rapport is crucial in the studio with whoever you're collaborating with. How about Rose and the Thorn for you?
I mean, by far my favorite part was how prepared we were
Yeah.
and the general vibe of the space that you've created, how comfortable it was. This is the first I've recorded many times, and this is the first time that I've felt heard, and I've been loose enough to really know what I want, say what I want, and I have absolutely gotten what I've wanted out of this recording experience. So that's certainly the rose, and the thorn is a little rosy too, because I feel like I'm now at a point in my musicianship and recognizing it through this experience where I really feel like I can grow into that next layer of creativity. So now that I know that I can get what I want out of an experience like this, I'm sad that I didn't feel more experimental, that I didn't prepare more experiences at home. So the next album I make is gonna have even more branches out, and that's very
totally
exciting.
the way. The first album I made was co-produced by a guy named Butch Baldessari, wonderful mandolin player. And one of the things that I took away, he's got these great lines, these little pithy lines that kind of say it all. And he says, "You're ready to make your album when you're done making your album." I was like, oh,
Yeah.
sure enough. And then we have some fun because, on the spur of the moment, they're talking about, considering different instrumentalists, different instruments or whatever. And they had like some blues thing going, or like we're looking for an ambient kind of, instrumentality. What about Smith Curry? And so I just shot Smith a text real quick, and then we were lucky because we got him on a day that he did either that. Did he do it the same day?
He did the same day.
It was the same day, and so we sent him the track. He sent it back from Nashville, and you can hear a little piece of that right now.
Every night the fear and darkness lay down with us, but I am whole.
And it was just aces, like, from the downbeat. And so we were like, this is great. Let's send him another one.
Yeah.
And so they sent another one, kind of a different feel, like more old school, like kind of country steel.
Yep.
And he rocked that. But you're going to bring in some other aces.
Yep, we have some folks who were instructors, some of our instructors at the Augusta Heritage Center that we're bringing in to lay down tracks over our songs, both from Blues Week and Bluegrass Week. So
Are we allowed to say their names?
I think so. Roddy Barnes on piano, Eleanor Ellis on Piedmont guitar, Mark Panfill on both dobro and harmonica. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah, cool. So, and then will this be getting released like other places?
Oh, we'll put it out on all streaming services.
Yeah.
And the album have a title?
Yeah, it's
The title is Something Tells Me Everything Will Be All Right.
that's a line from one of the songs.
And that when we were in a band together, I was in my 20s. And as anyone in their 20s is, you're going through it. And hearing Lee say that at our gigs got me through my 20s. So if ever a time to know that everything will be all right, I believe now is the time,
Now's a good time.
to reassure each other that everything will be all right.
Amen, or as we say down here, a woman. Yeah. So before we leave you, and thank you for spending this time talking about the project. One of my favorite parts about it was we're talking about like people that are important to you in your life, and like so we're kind of what's their name, and like y'all kind of came together through
Peter Wright, who well, there's a long story there, but he was my husband. He passed away in 2020, but the three of us were in a band together, and then Peter and I were a band by ourselves for a while, and he went to camp with us. We played all these songs, and he's very much here in spirit in many ways.
And that was beautiful, just to have their names and hear the stories. And then they recorded Daisy a Day, and that had some family connections too.
Yeah, so my father comes from a very large Catholic family, and the oldest siblings would take care of the younger siblings, and then they would take care of the grandchildren. I was in the first generation of grandchildren, and we all grew up singing a handful of songs, one of which being A Daisy a Day, and it's a story song, and it's about how basically you take care of your person all the way through life and in the afterlife. You're still giving and receiving to and from them in life and afterlife. It's
it felt
beautiful.
like we're touching on that.
Absolutely.
The family and all that. So we can listen to a little clip of that here.
I'll give you a daisy, a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy, a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still and four winds we know the way.
Amazing original song I just want to mention real quick, which is called
283.
you might be like, what is that?
If you've
You might
ever
know.
served working tables, you know this number. If you are in the Northeast region, I believe it changes throughout the country, but in Pennsylvania, the minimum wage for service workers, table workers, are $2.83, and I worked at not to mention a corporate establishment where I had an open mic, and I would work tables during the day, serving food, and then at night, once a week, they let me play an open mic. And one night I came home from my shift and I wrote this song that is all about what you do as a waitress or a waiter. And I would sing that song at my open mic to my fellow colleagues who were still waiting tables.
And that's a wonderful song. Let's just hear a little clip of that.
See, my life isn't free like you think. I've got
So
bills
anything y'all want to leave them with?
I don't think so. I appreciate the experience, and I guess for me it's I'm leaving here feeling like I actually deserved to be here, which is huge.
Same. Yeah, and I feel like, the work that we put into being a musician it's worth it. And it even if you feel like you're not putting in the earnest work, you're still moving along your own line of progression.
Right.
And being able to come here and realize how much I really like recording with the right people, with the right support is
It can be a lot of fun.
it's a little life-changing for me.
Yeah.
You'll be seeing more from me, I think.
Absolutely. And it's you can kind of get into the challenges, but we don't want it too easy. We'll learn to hit that curveball here and there where we can. But I'm in the boat of, personally, if I can do a good job recording my songs, and then I'm not worried about selling no 20,000 units or whatever. If I can get it to the people that my closest 200 people or whatever, that's a huge success. And that's that's like the fruits of the labors, but half or more of the fruits of the labors is just like the psychological, spiritual, musical growth that happens as you're putting it all together. I think we've done some good growing all here together.
Yes.
Between us, we have hundreds of people who are waiting for this album.
Yeah. So we're thinking release end of 2025 or early 2026, something?
Yep.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Y'all are so welcome. Thank you for
you.
listening, and we'll check you out.
283 is all they give me.
Nicely done.
That's 17 cents less than a soda. 283 is all